Good morning, Flosstube. It is Helen D. Today is Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. It feels like it's been 100 years since I filmed my last video. I know it's only been the regular 2 weeks. I was gathering stuff up and I'm like, I feel like I haven't done this in a long time. So thank you very much for spending some time with me today. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. For everyone that comes back every 2-ish weeks, thank you for spending your time with me. I know that there's a lot of options, so I appreciate you. Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time. Last time I talked to you, I had to film a day early because I had the week of appointments. I had eye appointment, my son had a dentist appointment, I had a haircut, we had tennis, all the things. And then I had the Frugal Yankee retreat, which I'll talk about in a bit. Then I got back from that, and then last week was all kind of doing all the things that didn't get done, I guess, the week before. I did have to drive up to Augusta because my frame came in, so I have that to show. It was just busy. It's a busy week. And then this weekend we didn't really have any plans. It was Mother's Day weekend, and we were outside. We started, we finally got around to raking out the lawn. A little bit of garden prep. We can't plant here until it'll be Memorial Day before we put anything in the ground. So although it finally hit 60 this week, last Friday, I don't know. And I think today's like 63. Short sleeves. The short sleeves have come out. So, and then this morning I had teased my husband. I said, I was going to film today, so that'll be the day that the big trucks are back at the neighbor's house. Come back from dropping my son off, there's the dump truck at the neighbor's house. They have ripped up. Their front lawn already had like a big gardening area on it, like flower gardens. They've ripped up the whole lawn. So when I saw my neighbor outside, I'm like, did you guys give up? Are you just gonna garden the whole lawn? I didn't give up, I planned it that way. We can't get grass to grow. We can't either on our side. Why bother? So they're mulching the whole lawn and they're just gonna plant flowers and shrubs and whatever. And then they won't have to mow it. She's a genius. Genius. So, that is it. I have a lot of things on this table to show you. Emmy is outside, so she shouldn't howl at us. We've been monitoring her outside time, and she's like staying where I'm happy with her. So she gets a little more freedom. She just needs to check in. I said, Emmy, when you check in, you reset the clock and then you get more time out. My son is not happy that she's outside because we lost an outside cat several years ago. So, and that's been hard for me, but I know that she needs it. So I'm allowing it to happen, but I still go yell at her every 20 minutes and she just pokes her head up so I know where she is. All right, so let's jump in. So I have 2 fully finishes to show you today. One huge and one tiny. We'll start with the huge, which I had to take a video of because it is Faraway Times by Pick Stitch. This was the video game piece I did for my husband and son for the Nerd Wall, and I had it framed. I decided to put mats on it. I knew I wanted glass because it's going to go on the wall permanent. And then I thought it needed mats to kind of pull out some of the colors. It's very earthy. It's earth toned. It's huge. With the mats, it's huge. So I'm like, I can't really hold it up for you guys here. And there's so much more sun here for the glare and the reflection. So I recorded a little video and I will put that in here. Here is Faraway Times, all framed up. Sorry for the glare. There is glass on this piece. It is absolutely huge. I decided to go with a double matting, actually it's a triple matting, to kind of pull out just a pop of gold that matches the gold in the clock face hands. So when I did that, and all of a sudden, a piece that was already pretty big is now giant. I couldn't even get it in my chair. It's just kind of on here. So here's the Nerd Wall. And the goal was, the plan, the side that has the Triforce piece on the green, that was going to move, and Faraway Times was going to go there, so that then I would have 2 large pieces, you know, symmetrical on that wall. It's not going to fit. So Triforce will stay there, and it will go over here on this empty wall, which it will fit just fine. So then now I have one little empty space under the Triforce that I'll need to stitch something else. I have a plan. I have a thought. It's not even a plan. But it won't be for a while because this bad boy took a lot of time this year. So now I want to work on some of my own things, and then I will work on something else for the nerd wall next year. I will put, I have a list of kind of what's up there that I will link below in the description box. So that is Faraway Times. Again, that's from Pick Stitch. Justin from Pick Stitch, if you're interested in his charts, he has a Twitch. When you subscribe to the Twitch at a certain tier, you get 1 PDF a month. Like, you email him and tell him what it is. I would reach out to him on Instagram through Pick Stitch, which I'll link below, if that's something you're interested in seeing if that's how he's still doing it. So, my other finish was a new start and a finish and a fully finish because it's tiny. It's Patriotic Tiny Town. So this is Heart and Hand, her series, Patriotic Tiny Town. I did the long one. I had found the basket from Target that I showed you last video, and I measured it, and it was about 11.5 to 12 inches. And this, as charted on 32 count, came out to 11 inches. So I thought, well, I want some fabric to show, so I'm gonna take a house off. So I ended up taking this house off, but then as I was stitching, and I got to this house, I counted, and they're the same width. This one's just a little taller. So I converted this house to that house, just because I liked it. So I did that. Heads up on this house, the E, like, it's cut off, and I'm sure the Freedom, I'm sure it's supposed to be like it's going around the house, but I wanted it to be a full E. So I added a row, but I didn't notice that until I put the door. It's not symmetrical. It's fine. You probably won't notice. If you put a little more thought into it, you could do it symmetrical. So just keep that in mind. And then I swapped out the blue because I didn't have the called for. I have it, I couldn't find it. It was blacksmith blue. I used Michael's Navy from Weeks. The rest of them were the called for. And here it is. Ready? Hold on. So there it is. Whoop, it slid. So it is on. It's on the basket. This is the basket I found from Target. It is by Bright Room Wire Bin. That's the dimensions. That's the UPC. There's a couple different sizes. This one was $12. So I finished it. I had several ideas from people of how to finish it on here, and they were all great. And I considered a couple of them, like someone had suggested, you know, making it go all the way around. But I realized, you know, this is a series, and I'm gonna wanna do them all and finish them all on here. So whatever I do for this one, I have to do for all of them. So why don't we keep it simple? So I sewed fabric on both sides and then on the tops, as if I were going to make like a quilt panel. And then I wanted to do something a little decorative. So this is a fly stitch, and then just with a bead on the end. So I did that on the top and bottom because I had a little more room on the top and bottom. Then I stretched, because this is all one piece, I stretched it on a piece of mat board with a little batting on it. I don't want to take it off because it's a pain. I'll just flip it up. I put a piece of felt on the back. It's green because that's what I had that was the right size, and I didn't want to be wasteful and no one's going to see the back. And then these tabs, before I put the back on, I glued the tab in, and then I put the back on to glue that side, and then there's a little bit of Velcro in there, which is why I'm kind of being gentle with it, because I glued the Velcro on. I probably should have sewn the Velcro on. So I have a feeling once I've ripped this off a couple times, the Velcro is going to need some work, so I'm just leaving it. So there it is. It is on there. You know, I can slide it just enough to kind of center it. I think it's super cute. And then for the inside, I'm going to get a piece of styrofoam and have my husband cut it because I hate the sound of styrofoam, and just wrap it in fabric like you would a cube finish to set in there, just to bring it, you know, I think it will bring it up to like here. And then when I put smalls on it, they won't be buried down in because you'd never see them. So, Patriotic, tinier town. So now I will need, oh, and I forgot the buttons. So these charts come with buttons, and they're the center of those pinwheels. I get it all together, and I'm picking it up, and I pick up the chart, and I'm like, the buttons are still in the chart. And I thought about just gluing them on, but I didn't want to mess it up, so there's no buttons. It is what it is. So there is Patriotic Tiny Town. There are more tiny towns in my future. I think they're adorable. Actually, I think I have them all. All right, so finished FOs, finished objects. 1, 2, 3. I have 3. See, I don't know why I got so much stitching done, but I did. So this one had been my car project, and it is Maryland Blue Crab by Amanda May at Artist Design. This one was close last time, and I did finish it. This, mine I believe, is on Earthen from Picture This Plus. It was just a scrap. So I got that all finished up. I did have enough floss. I had 5 yards of the silk. So I did the crab first, and then I kind of did the other things, and I had enough. And I did not do them 1 X at a time. I did a whole row or a whole like little section, right, and then crossed it because I wanted to conserve floss. Because it was a Silks for You, and I didn't have access to any more. So this one is done and needs to be finished up for summer. And then I remembered to bring down the reindeer ornament that I forgot last week. To show you that one. So this is Teresa Kogut. It's called Santa and Reindeer Ornaments. This is what it looks like, and I did the reindeer. Hers is stitched full coverage. I stitched mine on black. It was a pain to stitch on the black, but I didn't have to stitch as much. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So there he is. He's a little big. This is 16 count. Like, I wouldn't want it any bigger as an ornament. Hers was probably done smaller. Oh no, she said 32 count. So he's done, and I am going to try and finish in that shape. I cut enough fabric that I have enough to do the Santa, like on the same Q-snap. So I might do that before I cut him off to finish. Who are we kidding? I still have ornaments from 3 years ago that aren't finished. Then the other thing I finished was, I've been working on my summer berries for our hashtag berry season sal, and I had already finished the first one. They're not numbered, but I had finished this one. Now image, no, that's Pepper yelling at birds. And then I stitched cat hair, the summer berry. This is a really pretty floss. It's Classic Colorworks Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea. So it's really pretty. Good Ole up there on the top is 1/1, but you could do it on backstitch if you're working with Ada. So those 2 are done, which will slide right into whips because I started the 3rd one, which is not going to look like much because that's it. This is a 32 count, I believe it's Dove Lugano. This one was, they're all 32 count for the berries. This one was Antique White Lugana, and this one I think was Platinum. So this one I'm working on, and then I'll be able to get those finished up before summer. My doubloon was an Ada, a 16 count Ada. So yeah, those are done. And then I had a lot of whips because I think I had told you, I know I told you, when I finished Faraway Times, if I could get that done before May. My plan was, I'm not doing a full-on mania, tons of new starts. I would like to work on one project for a week for the month of May. The first week I gave myself 2 starts because I was going to the Frugal Yankee and I knew that I'd have a little more stitching time. So one of them was Patriotic Tiny Town. And then the other one, in my New Zealand bag, which Emmy adores, that's sleeping on, was All American by Primrose Cottage. I had shown you a piece of fabric for this that I had picked out, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna start it before I go to the retreat, so I know where I'm starting and I don't have to mess with anything. And it's a good thing I did because the white, not happening. So I've switched gears and switched fabrics. This is a coloring cotton Fieldstone, which it says it's from the June 2020 Fabric Club. It was like an extra piece that I managed to get. It's a 14 count, and my white shows up great. So I actually got Freedom USA, this bunting, this, and then now I'm working over here. So that's what I have done. But I'm leaving it in here because this is now my car project, because it's on an Ada. Big blocks of color. For tennis, it's easy to see. So I'm gonna leave this as my car project for the month of May. I don't think I'll get it done with my car stitching time, but that also includes tennis, and that's like 3 hours a week, so it will get some decent progress. I'm using all of the called for colors, which are all DMC, except the red is Weeks Dye Works Louisiana Hot Sauce. So that's what I worked on for like the first week. I also had pulled out, this was still on my Q-Snap, so I took it to Frugal Yankee, and I did put a little more work in it there. So this is Primrose Cottage Autumn Rules, and I am now down here. So I'm halfway. This one I'm stitching on 14 count Ada, Picture This Plus Legacy, and it's really wrinkly. So I'm down at Rake Leaves. This one's all DMC in like those beautiful autumn colors. So the goal is, I don't think I'll need quite that much. I just took a fat quarter and I cut it in half the long way. And that was going to be enough with some extra on the end, which is fine. Hopefully it's enough to get like an ornament or something out of when I cut it. I'd like to get that done for this autumn. Excuse me. So I thought if I put a little work on it now, then I'm closer. This piece is also great in the car, so I'm sure it will be a car project at some point. So then this week, I'm like, all right, it's Friday. I kind of switch on Fridays, so I have the weekend to work on my new thing. What do I want to pull out? And I decided I wanted to pull out Hands-On Design 31st block. So that's the whole thing. I will be doing mine as the cube. Now, I had started this last year on Halloween, and I had this bee. That was it, one bee. But my thought process was, if I started on Halloween, I was in the mood to stitch something on Halloween. So pick something that I want done for next Halloween, and then it will be a whip, and I'll feel like I need to work on it. So Started this back up on Friday. I did have a lot of stitchy time this weekend because it was Mother's Day and I felt like being lazy, so I was. And I got a ton done. It's still on my Q-snap, but I opened it up. So that's where I'm at. So again, I have this B. So I've gotten the rest of this done since then, since Friday. There are 8 pumpkins, so this is my 5th, so I'm just over the halfway mark. So it's super fun. There are like 5 colors. They are variegated flosses, although I will not use the variegated for this line of backstitch that goes all the way around, and then what you use to connect them, because it chews up so much floss. I went to grab the recommended DMC and it was not quite, you know how dye lots are, right? It wasn't the same. So I just took this color and found one that matched. I think it was recommended 970 and mine is 721. And that's what matched my floss better. So this will get all the love until Friday. And then I don't know what I'm gonna grab. We'll see what's calling to me. Okay, now let's talk about Frugal Yankee. So this year, Frugal Yankee was held in Connecticut. Very small group. I didn't actually count, but I bet there were around 30 people. We had a couple of people come in just for the day on Saturday. So very small group. I've had a few people say, well, oh, I wish I'd known this one was going on, and how did you find out? In 2019, we had our first Frugal Yankee in Massachusetts. And then that fall, we had a Frugal Empire in Albany. So basically what Frugal Yankee is it's kind of a regathering of that same small group. So it's kind of, you know, we put the word out to those past attendees. And it's in a very small location. We couldn't fit 50 people. I think 40 would have been the max. And even then, it would have been snug. So that one in particular is not really a just kind of wide open event. However, if you're in the New England area or you like to fly to retreats, I'm going to suggest that you start watching, I would start watching Pam anyway, but Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough opened Stitch New England, a shop in Massachusetts, North Attleboro, I believe. She is planning, and she did announce in her last video, she's trying to plan a bigger, much bigger retreat for 2023. So if you start following her now, you'll get to see all her goodness and then be like first in line for the information. So there's that. That's your heads up. So Frugal Yankee was exactly what my soul needed. I hadn't been to anything since Market of 2020. I had canceled Frugal Yankee in November of 2020, we didn't go. May of 2021, we didn't go. November of 2022, we didn't go. So I'm like, I'm so tired of canceling. I want to be there. So we went. It was the first time I had been unmasked in a group at all because we've been really cautious. It felt really weird, but normal at the same time. And I told myself, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. If I'm not unmasked and I'm with this group, I'm going to talk to every person in this room and I'm going to sit at every table in this room. So I really tried to move around. You know, I'd have my table and I'd work on some stuff. And then when I was at a spot where I'm going to take a length of floss and go sit over here and try to move around. We had a great time. So, one other thing. I got a ton of stitching done. And here's my thoughts on I have retreat thoughts today. The meals were included, and what that meant was we didn't have to spend time worrying about, well, where are we going to eat and who's going to go and who's riding with who and how far away is it? And then you go to a restaurant with 20 people and it takes forever. Everything was included, and you know, lunch is from noon to 1. You get down there, everyone's eating the same thing. Serve it up, in and out. So it was quick and easy. back we went to stitching. So I felt like it really led itself well to getting a lot of stitching done. I picked up, I brought a whole bag of things to put on the freebie table. Some of it was just I had gone through my stuff. Some of it was stuff that people had sent in, you know, that I just had kind of piling up. And a lot of it, if it was like bigger things that are harder to ship, so I'm going to take them down. You know, I might offer some to my group when we start getting back together, or I'm going to take them down. I had a prize box from the ornament contest that had like some weird, strange things in it. It's all stitching related. It all went. So I took down a giant bag. I tried really hard to not bring much back. I took a few things and I only brought one to show you. So this, we were the last ones in, pretty much, because we made a stop on the way down, which I'll mention. So all the freebie stuff was already out. I was shocked that this was still on the table, and not only on the table, but kind of on the top. Like it was beckoning to me. So it is Harvest Hexies from Hands On Design. So this was a full kit. It has the floss. It had a whole bag of goodness, right? It's got the fabric, finishing fabric. There's towel in there, and the Hexies. This was a kit from the Silver Needle. It's one of their, A Little Help from Our Friends. So this is not available yet. Usually she does make that stuff available later. And I know she did a similar one with bees on it for a retreat or a class. So hopefully it's something she puts out. I'm completely intimidated by this finish, yet also completely intrigued. I don't quilt, I don't paper piece. Completely intrigued. So there's some embroidery on it. I loved it. So thrilled to get this. Whoever brought this, who was probably completely intrigued, completely intimidated by the finish. Me too, but I'm gonna give it a go. So that was my freebie table find. Smalls exchange. So we drew by, if you brought something and you put it up, you got a number, and then Lynette, homesteading on the home front, kind of called people up in groups of 5. We didn't do a theme. It was a, when you make something, wrap it in the way that shows kind of a hint of what's in there. So I took a bee bag that had a big pinwheel with like bee stripes on it. It's pretty obvious it was a bee bag. So this is my small. This is a Bent Creek called Buzz, and it was stitched by Kat, and I love it. Now, more Helen thoughts on retreats. After I got this, Kat came up to me and she was like, you weren't supposed to get my small. I know you've already stitched this because I saw it on your video. I have already stitched this, but I don't have anything that Kat has stitched. So when you go to its retreat and you do the smalls exchange, there's a pretty good chance you might get something you've already stitched. I looked through my pictures and I think there were 19 different smalls, people that took part. Of those, I had already stitched 4, and one of them was mine, so that would have been 5 because I stitched it twice. So there was a pretty good chance, I don't do math, but there was a pretty good chance that I would get something I'd already stitched. But this means so much more to me because my friend stitched it. So I love it. She put the little year charm and some bees, and she had it in the bag with some candy and some more little bee charms and these awesome Blackbird design recipe cards, which I wouldn't use for like my recipe box, but we were talking and I'm like, how cute would these be, right? Like on the back of a finish as like a card with all your stuff on it, or to put in with your small to like say what it is and all that. So I love these. And a little stand to hold it on. Loved it. And then what I made my small for the smalls exchange way back in 2020, and it's been sitting in a drawer waiting to get out of my house. And it's not even like, oh, I'll just keep it for myself, because I stitched it twice. So I already had one. So this is my version of what I stitched. So I stitched O is for Old Glory. This is a heartstring samplery chart. And I finished it on one of these pedestals. This came from Michael's, and they've come back again. 2020, maybe 2019 is when I picked this up. But I've seen them since. I checked their website and they don't have them right now, but they might come back in the fall. They've had them in different colors. And I actually did a tutorial on how to do this finish. I put some fabric on the back with a magnet, sticks right on there. And I like these because where the bumps are, you can kind of lean them on the table if you want it set up. So that was the small that I made. On the way there, we stopped at the World in Stitches, which is in Littleton, New Hampshire. There were 3 of us in my car, and then we met 2 other friends in Kennebunk at the rest area. And we're looking at the map, and Cheryl had said, well, isn't Randy's on the way? I said, is it on the way? We looked at the map, and the World in Stitches was literally a half a mile off the exit that we were driving right by. So, well, we would be very remiss if we did not stop in. So we just piled into Randy's. She probably didn't know what was coming. Some quiet Friday afternoon, and then all us boisterous Maine ladies come in. So I picked up one chart. This is Peaceful Woodlands. It's in Erica Michaels, and it has this beautiful piece and 2 berries. And the berries use motifs from the piece. This was released a few years ago. It says 2020 on the copyright, so 2020. Just a few flosses. And then Randy had all these tubes of fun buttons because she sells a lot of yarns and things too. So like if you were doing, you know, buttons for the sake of buttons, well, I got 3 buttons for the sake of berries. So I just picked up like singles, right? There's a green one and a bright purple one. And then I love this blue one. It's like shiny. So I thought those would be great for the tops of berries, and I don't need a whole ton of them. So 3 like specialty buttons. So that's what I got at Randy's. I posted a few pictures on my Instagram, which is East Coast Period Crafter from inside her shop. And then Pam from Stitch New England had done, like, if she didn't bring things, but she said if you want to pre-order, I'll bring them up. So I had done a pre-order for season 2 by Hands On Design. I think that's better. I was trying to hold off on this chart because I've actually done the first ones, but I cannot with these seagulls and I cannot with these turkeys. This is a pricier chart. It's $24, but it's all 12. So that's $2 a month. So I had done an order for that and some of the flosses I didn't have. Then Cecilia Turner released Blooming Tiny Town. And it came in just in time. I messaged Pam the week before, a few days, and I'm like, do you think it'll be here in time? She said, I'll let you know. So she messaged me, okay, it's in. So I'll have to take something out of this to make it fit. And then there's, if you want to see, that's big-hearted Tiny Town. And I grabbed another of the Just Nan mice, gingerbread reindeer mouse. And it comes with all the little parts. So now I have the Santa one and the reindeer one. So that was kind of purchases. I don't think I brought down my giveaways. All right, hold on. All right, this video is going to take some editing. Bummer. So, last video, we had these ones. All right. Last video's winners, which honestly, I think I've heard from all of you already because I saw a couple more emails this morning that I haven't had a chance. So we had another copy of Patriotic Tiny Town that a viewer had sent in. This went to AJ Payne, AJ Payne 75. Mistletoe Kisses, which again, someone had sent in to share, went to Karen at Keb Studio Creations, K-E-B Studio Creations. And then these two were from Carla at Cobweb Corner. Dreaming Miss Claus, Janet Stopal, and Delivering Summer from Heartstring Homespun Elegance is Rayanne O'Neill. So again, I think I've already heard from all of you. My email is down below. I give people, if I don't hear from you next video, I'll give you a last call and then I would redraw. So this video, everything's out of sorts. This video, we have another kind of past the stash. My friend Tina was like, I ended up with 2 of these. So Autumn Berries, if you want to join in for the berry season sale. If you're interested in this one, use the word pumpkin for the berries. Giveaway rules, you must be 18 so you can legally give me your address. I'd appreciate it if you're a subscriber, and please don't say the word giveaway or win in your comment. And then from Carla at Cobweb Corner, first of all, the code, the 10% off HD10K code, still valid, still going on through May 30th. I have a link below that should put that code automatically in your cart, and I know she's been restocking. She's gotten some new stuff in, so check that out. She is taking a vacation in May. She has those dates right on her website, like bright red on the top, very hard to miss, because they're going camping. She's earned it. She's a one-woman show. So from Carla, we have 2 things this week. I thought someone else might want to stitch O is for Old Glory. So this again is the Heartstring Samplery. If you're interested in this one, use the word eagle. And then I'm just loving these primrose. This one is Patriotic Picnic. They have a whole series of these trucks. And if you're interested in this one, use the word picnic. So, and I also put a link to Carla's website, her Flosstube, if you want to check out what she's been up to. Is that all except purchases? Yes. I think I had enough purchases given what, you know, I bought when I was away, but not the case. When Carla sends charts for you guys, she sends a couple for me, and I had her send me a Christmas Tiny Town. So now I really do think Patriotic, Valentine's, Blooming, and Christmas. That's all that she has out so far. I'm sure there will be more. And then I was in a heart and hand mood. This is We Won Christmas Night. All of these little ones. So those I got from Carla. I had a couple orders I had placed a bit ago that came in. Primrose Cottage on their Etsy shop has started putting together some packages of trims for finishing. So they had one that matches all of their bee charts. I haven't stitched any of their bee charts yet, but I love a good package of trim. So this is Lindsay's bee trims, and it was like 14 or 15 different trims. 2 yards of each, like, it's a lot of trim. So it has the non-vintage ruler, this one's the regular, bunch of rickrack, the pom-poms, they're not Lady Dot pom-poms, like they don't, you can't take them off the tape, they're kind of all connected. So I thought that was a good deal, and everything matches. And then I also got the twill tape variety pack, which has a bunch of twill tapes. So those came in. This I had ordered a bit ago, and I knew when I ordered it that it would be, it's custom made, so it takes time. This is from Scarlet Sky Designs TX, Texas. She's one of the companies that makes finishing boards for mounting your cross stitch. I love that over the last few years, it used to be, right, oh, what am I gonna mount this on? And you'd wander through the store and be like, oh, that might work. Oh, I could put a cross stitch on that. And now we have makers that are specifically making things for us to put cross stitch on. Yes, I love it. So she makes a lot of the, like the boards. She has started, her and her husband, Shelby, Shane and Shelby. So they make the boards. They've started doing like a wood burning on the boards. So this is the B board. And mine took longer because I had it stained. You can buy them unfinished if you want to do it yourself and save a couple bucks, or you can just do it stained. I don't own any stain, so I just had it stained. This is the large, and on their Etsy shop, they actually give you the open space measurements so that for mounting, you know you're not going to cut that off. On all, like, there's 3 different sizes. So this is beautiful. It smells nice. I'm playing around with what I want to stitch to put on that. So that came in, and Color and Cotton just came in yesterday. So if you, I get the all color floss. If you haven't seen them, just look down for like 2 seconds. Here they are. So those came, okay, they're done. And then I had ordered over the course of the last month, when she puts up, if you're in A Club, when she puts up new stuff, she has a code that you can put, and she'll hold them and combine all the shipping. So she had put up a couple fabrics that I actually managed to grab, which is shocking. She had 2 of what she calls her shortcuts. So they're smaller, they're 10 by 16. I grabbed 2 Adas, Stratus and Salt Rock. So when she's cutting things for size and she has a strip of extra, she's been selling them as a shortcut. Fantastic, perfect for ornaments and stuff. And then I managed to grab a piece of cobblestone 28 count Lugana that she had, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous color, and then just some extra flosses she had listed. So those came in. Now my space is empty. So that is everything. That was a lot today. Now we're gonna put everything away that had been building up to. Next couple weeks, I will work on 31st and then decide what I want to stitch next. I don't know what it's going to be. It will be whatever's calling to me on Friday. All American will stay as my car project. That's about it. A bunch of school and tennis and, you know, May stuff. I've got May stuff. So that is about it. I hope everyone has a good week. I really need to write down, I need to do some shout outs. I haven't done shout outs in ages. I don't get as much time to watch videos because my son's using the TV more and my husband's home during the day. I just don't have as much time. So, but I need to, because I found a few newer people that I'm really enjoying. So maybe for next time I will go through and write them down because it's not there right now. So I will go edit all these parts together and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.